of the Joi-Zulema show, and I have to my right some special guests. This is Camille, and to my left I have David. And today we are going to be talking about specifically dating. We're going to concentrate on online dating, and some of you have been on my divorce journey, and I think it's time that I get out there now and go ahead and go for it. So we're going to talk with them about some options, and they've been talking to me about some online dating. It's a little weird for me, but you know, we'll see. They have some do's and don'ts, and for some of you all that are out there that are looking to do some online dating, they'll give you their experiences, and we will take it from there. So first, we have different ages up here too, so that might be a thing for some of our older viewers who may feel like me. I just turned 51, y'all, a couple weeks ago. Where it's kind of weird. I don't know if I want to talk to a computer trying to talk to somebody. It's kind of different. But we have younger generation, not too far behind, but younger where she's a little bit more familiar with the times and how to get out there and do things. And so tell us a little bit about it, Camille.
Online dating?
Yes, online dating. Tell me.
Well, to me, it's easier than going outside because I don't really go out much. You can weed out the people you aren't necessarily physically attracted to easier online than in person. You can also, for the lack of a better word, reject people easier than in person, to where you don't have to have that awkward conversation of, I think my refrigerator running, I gotta go. Like, you can just literally just block them online and go on about your day. The downside of that is, you know, they see your face, because I mean, you're gonna hopefully use a real picture if they're in the city. But I like online dating as a way to weed out the good and the bad per se, especially from that initial physical attraction. And then you also, depending on the person, I mean, there's always going to be the bad, so where you can look at their qualifications per se, as far as, you know, height, age, weight, children, no children, educational background, stuff like that.
Okay, so here's the thing. What if they lie?
And that's another thing, you can talk to them online. You don't have to have that, let's go out somewhere and then you find out that they're, you know, missing some important teeth, or missing some, like, very important appendages, to where you can video call. Again, everything can be virtual until you're ready to cross that threshold of a face-to-face situation. So again, to me, as a person who, you know what I'm saying, getting in my recluse era, it's easier, and I can control every aspect of it.
Okay, David, your take on
it. My take on online dating, it sucks. It really does. It's not. It takes away from the personal connection that you get when you're in person.
Yeah, I agree.
So as far as, like you were saying, like, you can weed out certain aspects of people based off your preferences and stuff like that. Yeah, to a point. However, people, like we talk about people a lot. People who are good at acting, and what better way to act behind than being online behind the scenes, in a sense. So my experience is, in theory, online dating was supposed to be a great thing because it was supposed to open up a possibility for shy people to connect with each other a little bit more easy. However, just like with anything, it's been abused. Folks taking advantage of it to take advantage of other people. They use it as scam, like be able to scam folks, or I mean, it's all a scam. Even if it's catfish, it's a scam. Either way, people are not authentic about who they are nowadays. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's just, from the conception to now, it's a mess. It's more of a mess than anything. Me personally, I tried it in a sense for a brief period of time, not long enough to know like this is not how I would like to do things. Because I'm a person that I like to meet somebody in person and get a sense of connection, either it's there or it's not. Online, it's kind of like tell a story, people get pulled into the story and not truly the person. So you believe this person more than anything than when you actually get to meet them. Sometimes things don't match up, and wasting all this time invested mentally into this person compared to when you meet them at first and get an idea, you can kind of meet up about faster than being online, get too serious.
Has anybody had a successful, well, we know how David feels, guys, and I feel the same way that David did. I tried it, and it was just too weird for me. I got catfished. I was talking to this guy for like 3 months, and I just was like, oh, he's so nice. I was all in fantasy world, and it took one of my cousins, shout out to Lydia, who told me, girl, that's not a real profile. And we went through the profile, and she was like, no, that picture's fake, that picture's fake. And it doesn't help that we got AI where, people can just throw any picture, throw a background, just make it look like they're rich and they're an architect. And so for me, I'd like, as David said, to meet somebody in person. Those days, they can't be gone, y'all. We need that social interaction where we are just person to person, face to face, too. So, who's been successful? David already told us he hasn't, so that makes
I would say I've been successful. Since Black Planet days, like that's how I met the father of my second child, and according to the law, we got married. But we're divorced. But I wouldn't blame that on online dating. Even after my divorce, the guy I was dating after that, we met online, and we were together for 2 years, and we didn't break up because of online. It was genuine. Like he didn't even live here. He lived in Indianapolis. So we would have never really, had an opportunity to run into each other in that regard of meeting because we weren't in the same city. But because of online dating, we started talking online for about a good, probably month or so, 3 to 4 weeks. And then he came here, and we were meeting at Kenwood Mall in the parking lot. Then we went to, I think, Cheesecake Factory. Shout out to Cheesecake Factory. And then we went to the show out there. He thought I lived in Kenwood for at least 2 months because that's where we would meet every time. Until I got more comfortable of knowing who he was and vice versa, to where we basically started a committed relationship. And it was 2 years, and it was fun. It was, I would say, a successful relationship. We broke up, or we ended it more so on, I would say, political views, but nothing like that.
Political views?
Yeah, it got into more like an Uncle Ruckus situation, to where.
What's Uncle Ruckus?
Oh gosh, he wasn't very pro-black.
Oh, okay.
When it came down to politics, and it started showing more with. This was in 2017. So 2019, how who was in office and all of that or whatever, as far as the political climate. And then I wouldn't say we argued, it was just certain things that he said that I knew I wouldn't be able to compromise on, as far as who we were and where we were going. Because I had already interviewed for a position out in Indy. We had already talked about.
You were ready to move.
Yeah, because he had a home there. He had a home in Virginia, because he was military, ex-military, which I never did a military person. But so we had already like talked about coexisting. He met my kids, I met his, met his mom. Like we were, I guess a real relationship, but it started online. To where again, unlike, or I would say similar as to meeting somebody in person, we still got to know each other. It was just more online per se because we weren't in the same city. So it's like when we did meet up, like those, days or whatever, he would come in town, or those hours, because it was only a 2-hour drive. He would come here and we'd literally just go to the show, or we'd go out to eat or whatever, and then he would go back to Indianapolis until I started going out there. Then like I would get a room out there, and then when we got more, acclimated with each other, like I would stay at his place or he'd come here and stay in my place. But it was nice. Like,
okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: how long do you think that a person should wait before they actually meet up with a person, and talk about how you are able to do that?
when you say meet up, you mean just meeting in person for the first time? I would say it's a situational time frame to where I've talked to people online that are here in the city, and then we've met like later that day at a park or at a parking lot just to, meet in person, because we were either going to the same place at the time or we were in the same area. And there's also been times like with my ex to where we were strictly on the phone, or really we were on the app for about a couple of weeks until we got to the point of even exchanging phone numbers. But when I first started, getting into the online dating after my divorce, I had a fake number, like a text now number, because I've had the same cell phone number since 2001. So I give it out, but I don't, so where I don't know you. Mm-hmm. And that's with anybody. I'll give you that number, the text now number, before I give you my real number. It's just I never remember it because it's not my number.
Explain what Text Now is to our viewers.
So Text Now is a phone app where you can get a phone number, and it's strictly through that app to where you can have people call or text you on that number versus your actual cell phone number. That way you don't have to give out your actual cell phone number. So it's just to keep people at bay. And that's just what I do. I don't do it now as much because I don't talk to people, but it's just easier when you don't want somebody to know everything about you in that regard, because everything is on the internet. Mm-hmm. So, and especially for me, having the same number since my freshman year in college, 2001. So everybody that has my number and like has had my number, but my block list is ridiculous. So it just reduces that aspect of somebody calling your phone all the time. And with the Text Now, you can change your number as many times as you want to. You can change the area code. Mm-hmm. So that's just what I was using then. But we talked on there for a while before we met in person.
Okay. So.
Well, I agree with Camille. It's more so, it's like a feel. It's more so kind of like in real life. When you meet somebody at the bar, and you go home.
It's still real life.
See, it's virtual, and like I said, right there in the now type thing. So, it's kind of like you went to a bar and somebody got your phone number. Mm-hmm. And they call it. It's based off of the conversation, based how you feel and how comfortable you get with it. Mm-hmm. So it's not exactly a true given time frame. It's all about what you prefer in the sense that you feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And it all depends on how you feel. But for me, it's like she said, it could be more so that same day if you're in the same area. Like, all right, and it's always when she was talking about, you always want to do this somewhere public for your safety. Just off the bat, because there's a lot of folks who do all that.
Repeat that and make sure you're talking in the mic so our audience can hear you for sure on that, because that's important.
Yes.
Okay, so when you do meet somebody, you always want to make sure you meet them somewhere public, because there's all types of scams that's going on. You want to make sure that if anything happens, you have an audience, could be a restaurant. What Camille was saying earlier about being in the parking lot, that kind of scared me because there's no true like audience like in between a restaurant or like say you're in a mall somewhere. So in the parking lot thing, I wouldn't meet anybody in a parking lot.
I'm in my car. I can
That
drive
you
off.
can drive. I mean, but you still have to get out and go. Are y'all talking like cops? In that case,
Depending on how you look in this car.
In that case, fine. But to me, I wouldn't advise that unless it's a secure area where you could. There's safety.
Right.
Safety.
Right.
I agree. I wanted to say something earlier about the online dating thing aspect of it. One of the things I found, unfortunately, is there's a lot of attention seekers on there. So the mindset that some people go online to try to find a true relationship, they come across folks who just want the attention. So you may start off having a good conversation with somebody, and that person just feeding off their ego in a sense of saying, "Ooh, I still got it," type thing. And you've already invested so much, and then all of a sudden you get ghosted. So that's a big issue that I came across, or I've had people come across, is anybody really truly being genuine? As she said, yeah, you can meet people, and just like out in as I say, the real world, you can still meet people, but it depends on the person's intentions. You have to be, but again, online, it's easier for somebody to ghost you faster than in person or out in the real world. People have gotten my experience because it's just a click, or you just ignore it. Now, if y'all are the same, but in person, if it's in person more so, y'all already met up a couple times and stuff like that. It's harder for you to be like, I'm done with you.
Harder for who?
It's not you different.
My block list is ridiculous.
Right, you have a different block, but I think when it's more personal, like y'all connected more so in person and things like that, it's harder for somebody just to say,
Or
I'm done with it.
it's more uncomfortable, just like you say, meet in real life. So if you have a person walking up to you at a bar and they're obviously attracted to you, trying to get your number, trying to get to know you, and you are not interested whatsoever. It could be anything from, like, again, missing important teeth. It could be the smell of their breath. It could be, you know what I'm saying, just you're not attracted to them. They're not your preference. Online, you can easily ignore and block that profile. In person, you sometimes as a female, you have to find out the hard way that this person doesn't know how to take rejection, that this person doesn't know how to, you know what I'm saying, take a no. So where you get into a point of somebody else around the bar got to come and help you out, or you know might have to pull out your mouse patoolie out your bag, or you might have to call the police or something because this person won't leave you alone. Rather, you know what I'm saying, where it's online, it's pushy people online. Hey, you didn't respond to me. I see you still online, or you're not talking to me. Block profile. And I don't ever have to talk to that person again. Now, hopefully I don't run into that person in real life, as you say, real life, out on the street. But I don't see a difference in meeting somebody in person versus starting it online. Because when you do meet somebody, just like y'all both said, you give your number to them. And then what y'all doing? Talking on the phone. You go home to your home, they go to theirs. Hopefully y'all go to different places. And then y'all talking on the phone. It's the same. To me, it's the same thing online. You just started off on the phone versus having to have that awkward, I don't really like this person, or maybe they cute, you know what I'm saying, everything about them is what you're looking for aesthetically. They have the education, they have the background, they dress nice, then y'all start talking and they got 15 kids.
But I mean, in real life, you have the initial.
All of it's real life.
No, where I get at is, in person, you see this person right there. Now, everybody have, skeleton they call it once you get to know them more, but in person, you can tell they're a certain height. You can tell they look a certain way in front of you. However, online,
I'm not talking about the way they look. I'm talking about, like I said, they beautiful. They can be beautiful in person and fine or whatever, but then online you have more time to just get straight to the who are you type questions. Where do you work? What do you do? How many kids you got? You ever been married? In person, it might be so many distractions to where a song start playing and y'all just dancing? Are you with your friends and then they're changing the subject to where you wouldn't even think, I didn't even ask him how many kids he had. I didn't even ask him if he had ever been married. Because a lot of times on these dating sites, the information is there. Yes, people can lie. We all know that. I mean, bad people are gonna be bad people wherever you put them. But like we stated, as far as that genuine connection or somebody who's actually looking to date, they're gonna be, you would hope they would be honest in their profile. And a lot of the sites I've been on, that has it on there as far as their religious background and how many kids they have, their educational experiences and stuff like that is already there. But then when you started talking to somebody, that initial conversation, a lot of these apps have prompt questions or whatever to where how to get the conversation started, to where these are things you would ask just day one, conversation 1, minute 5. How many kids you got? You ever been married? Like in person, you might not feel comfortable asking those questions.
I mean, I get that. I mean, online has its pros and cons just like in real life. However, I think online gives people too much of a perception of more variety of what they actually able to get. So with that being said, is the same situation of being in person. Your opportunities to see that person or other people, just that's what you have in front of you. But online gives you this idea of, like you said, I can dismiss this person right away if I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't get to know them. And I feel like online has stopped people from having a genuine, true connection because folks don't invest the time that's necessary to actually get one. It's easier to just dismiss somebody just based off of what they look like or something in their profile compared to you have a regular conversation like, I might not like that, but everything else you're saying, like we're talking about right now, because people can write whatever. There are coaches that teach people how to write out their profile to attract some.
But if somebody going through all of that to do that, wouldn't you think they would be more willing to start a real relationship?
No, I think, okay,
Not
there's
necessarily.
two sides. Yes, there's some people that are really trying their best to get a relationship. However, we come across now this time of day, unfortunately, it's more scams than genuine connections than anything now.
Scams and people that just want to hook up. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because some of these sites, from what I have experienced, they go straight to the point, and it's like, ooh, what a turnoff to somebody just get sexual with you before you even know their full name or,
Right.
you know, and that totally turns me completely off. So, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I tried it, but,
You are correct. I mean, and like I said, the conception of it, just meeting people in general, was to go at first. However, as it progressed and these new apps and everything come out, a lot of folks look at it as an instant hookup thing.
yeah.
And unfortunately, because we are older, as Camille can attest, as we see that we want to build something. We're not just jump into the bed type ready people, but a lot of folks online that actually use those, and even older folks nowadays even see it that way as well. They kind of some folks have adapted to those ways because they've been bombarded with, like, if that's all you want, it's easier. I'm gonna go like this, honestly, it's easier to set up a hookup with somebody online than there is actually get into a relationship nowadays. And that's
Wow.
I agree.
Wow. Yeah.
I totally agree.
So, let me ask this. We're going to come away from the online dating. We'll get back to it in a second. But Camille says she's married. You all know my story. I was married.
Make sure you put that in past tense.
She says allegedly she wants to get her marriage expunged.
I tried.
So, and you all know that I was married and divorced as well. And David and I were talking before we started to record, and he is also divorced. When do you think it's a good time to put yourself out there? For myself, it'll be 4 years of me being divorced in September. And I'm definitely ready now. 4 years, some people say it's like, that's kind of a long time. Some people just aren't ready at all. But for the time period that I was married, I think it took some time for me to heal
Right.
and to really be able to say, okay, I'd like to go on a date now and kind of be a little bit out there. So what do you guys think? How long do you think it would take before you actually, and let me put it like this, how long did it take you before you decided, okay, I wanna start dating again?
Well, for me personally, when I was allegedly married, and then when I went through my alleged divorce, I wasn't even 30 yet. So I was literally 29, turning 30. So I was still young, even though my divorce, allegedly, was horrible. You know what I'm saying? So where I found out the person that I had allegedly married was like a monster. Like he turned into a monster. But for me, because I was young and the way it ended, like he cheated, filed for divorce. The divorce took 2 years, too long, which nothing to split. Yes, we had a child, but there was nothing to split as far as assets to where, but it just, again, it was toxic and it was a waste of time. But I got into a relationship, let me see, I filed for divorce. It was in, I would say, October 2012, I believe. I was in a relationship within a year.
Okay.
But it was, again, I was young, so I was still, going out or trying to get back out there or whatever, because I was still, I was like, my 30s are about to be all about me. I thought I was going to just date and just see what I liked, because I had been basically in a relationship from my 20s. So I didn't get that quote unquote wilding out time or whatever. So I was like, okay, in my 30s, I'm going to date and just see what I like. And then I was in a relationship for 2 years. And then that ended because, he was talking about having a kid and stuff. I was still going through my divorce in the midst of this relationship. And it was just moving to me too fast to where, I wanted to date, and just be out dating versus just instantly in a relationship. So, we're still cool to this day, but it's like, I guess I didn't waste time or spend a lot of time on my own. I did go to therapy and stuff, dealing with my divorce. So I felt like I was healed, and I did, after that relationship, I did date, but then I was in like I said, that was a 2-year relationship. Then I got in another 2-year relationship, and then the last one I would say was 4 years. But I think I'm just a relationship person. I can't do the dating multiple people at one time and all of that. Once I start, I can talk to multiple people at one time, but once I start dating, and by dating I mean spending time with this person and going out with this person. And once I start having that connection, I can't keep talking to other people. So I'll just cut off whoever else I'm talking to, and boom, it becomes a relationship.
If you could do something different from the time that you got divorced and started dating, what would you have done differently if you felt like you could have done something different? Maybe you don't feel that way.
As far as when I first got divorced and then the person I was dating right after? That particular person,
because you said he was serious, kind of
right,
wanted to have a child, and you were in a different place. So
I don't want to say I would have changed and had a baby, because there ain't enough money in the world to make me have another child. But I don't know, because it was a genuine, we met at a club, actually, a happy hour. So we met in person. It wasn't an online situation. It was a furlough one, because I work for the government. So it was one day, it was a furlough on a Friday, and I went to a happy hour, and that's how we met. But I don't know what I would change.
Okay.
Because like I said, to me it was a good connection. It was genuine. He's a good person. Just it didn't work with us because, again, it was just it was more so me and just having this moment of, I'm not trying to jump back into another marriage this quickly. I loved him. We dated for a while. We got to know each other. We spent a lot of time with each other. He met my kids. He didn't have any at the time. And it was great. It was just, I wanted to date. And it was I didn't want to just jump right back into, I was in a relationship, but it was once it got I don't wanna say like too serious, but it was just, when we started the arguing, I didn't even argue in my marriage. Like, hard to believe, but I'm not about to argue with you. Like, that was one thing that I told myself after that divorce. I'm not about to be in a relationship arguing with anybody. Like, why are we fighting at this? I mean, granted, I was only 30, but why? No, I'm not doing that. And even now, like, I don't want to be in a toxic, we're arguing all the time relationship. I'll leave. I'll block. It's 2 years.
Queen of block.
Queen of blocking.
So David, tell us also, when you got divorced, when did you feel that you were ready to get out there, start dating? You don't necessarily have to give us all of your information about your divorce, but how did you feel after you've done that? You know, how ready were you, and when did that take place?
I can't give you like an exact time. I know one thing afterwards, or actually doing the process, like you say, the divorce and everything, it was more time taken to reflect on where I might have went wrong. Because I look at it like, the divorce didn't happen because it was just one-sided. There were things that we both did that caused us not to make it work. So for me, it was always like, I can't move into something else unless I fix what I had caused on my end. So it was more of a soul searching, reflecting. Although I might have talked to people during the time, I've never really considered getting serious with anybody until I actually was able to just say, okay, I have, like you said, counseling, just fix the issues in a sense. So it's probably maybe a year after, really, where I was actually vulnerable to say, okay, I can try this again. But overall, it's like I said, I can't pinpoint exactly when, but it was more so like it was more organic than anything. You meet somebody, you start talking to them, you start, finding things that you have in common, and all of a sudden, you kind of in a relationship. But it wasn't something like I had to go, like I'm gonna take so much time. It was more so. It's not even a process of I need to get back into something. It's more because really I didn't even really think about another relationship for a while. I wanted to just focus on myself and like I said, be ready for be the best version I can for the next person I'm with, but at the same time, on my own personal journey I need to work on.
Have you been in a relationship since your divorce?
Yes, on and off, kind of.
Okay.
I got a little bit. Yeah.
Like Camille?
Like Camille, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as I call them, serious prospects, yes, to a point.
What's the difference? Tell me.
Serious means you have intentions. Serious means they got past the, okay, I'm just seeing how you are, to, yeah, I could actually see myself with you.
Okay.
And I think we all have, you probably don't because you're still trying to figure out how this dating thing works, but we tend to have, like Camille was saying, we may talk to a few folks and just, like, I can't see myself being committed to multiple people at one time. That's too much of a headache.
That's like Camille.
Right.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
However, again, when you're going out there trying to find somebody, you don't want to put all your eggs in just one basket and just one person because at the same time they're dating too, they might have other folks you're dating. So you're just trying to weed out things, but as you get to know the person better, and as things like I said become more organic, y'all both have kind of like a mutual understanding that y'all want to be together. That's when it becomes like more of a serious thing. And as always in the beginning, you have to be intentional. So y'all all working towards that same goal. But that's where I consider like serious. Like we've had the same goal, we've been kind of like repeated as our goals are we going towards it. That's the serious prospect.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like to me, I'm not trying to find. I think people are. I don't believe in the term boyfriend and girlfriend anymore because it's too old. It's either like that's one of us, my man, that's my woman, and then that's Camille, she don't want to get married again. But wife,
You don't want to get married again?
Yes, I do.
No, she's blocking all of it. She's blocking all that.
That ain't my husband.
Same there. So
And if it is, he gonna find a way to talk to me.
the next state is more so like if you're my woman, my next like intention is I want to get married eventually.
So you're more intentional with your dating. You're more so, I'm looking for the one, and until I find her, I will talk to different women, but not necessarily if it becomes a serious prospect, then you're willing to let people.
Everybody wasn't it serious? It's no.
Now, when you say your woman, your man, that's not the same as saying your girlfriend or your boyfriend?
I think for me, girlfriend, boyfriend is cringe to me now because we're like high school thing. Because I think after being like married, it's like you can't.
Yeah, you got a point.
It's like it's fiance. You can't go back to like you just look cute little girlfriend. Boy. So to me, I think it's more intentional when you're like, that's my man, that's my woman. That's my little girlfriend. Look, I mean, you can have a whole bunch of little girlfriends, little boyfriends, but that's your person, as you say. I think it's more intentional, like you say.
Okay.
I agree.
So, would you all get married again?
I would.
Since we were talking about that.
I definitely would. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just now, I think like it's so many memes and stuff online as far as dating. I'm in my 40s, 42, but to where like it's my hard nose to where maybe before I would have overlooked a few things or whatever, or just see how it played out. But now when I'm talking to people and it's like, say we're texting and it's so many words being misspelled, like words that should not be misspelled, or it's like, did you read this out loud? Like that's not what that means, and they just keep saying something, pronouncing it wrong, or using a word wrong, or just like spelling a word wrong.
Now you know there's autocorrect and it puts
Exactly, but I mean it's autocorrect, but it's stuff that you had to autocorrect to make it that wrong. Like you intentionally had to make that wrong. To where at our big ages, it's like,
You don't think you're too picky?
That's not picky, because it's like for me, I need to have an intellectual connection.
I mean, there's some people that can be very intellectual just can't spell.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like again, I said pronounce too. So we're talking because everybody's not a good speller. But being what I had when I was allegedly married, I want to have an intellectual conversation. Okay. So if you're starting off with stuff like that to where you're not like, and when I say intellectual, it doesn't even have to be school wise. It can be life. Like, because I will say the people I've dated since my divorce, I haven't dated a guy or been in a relationship with a guy with a 9-to-5. They've all been entrepreneurs. So where they're, you know what I'm saying, geniuses in their craft as far as hands-on stuff. They've all been blue collar. But they're smart. Like, and I can learn. I don't want to be in a relationship, especially not a marriage, with somebody where I'm going to be with this person for the rest of my life and I can't learn from you. Or you can't teach me anything and vice versa. To where I'm not the one that's going to be out there fixing a car. I'll help you. I'll, you know what I'm saying, hand you a tool. I want to know what you're doing. I'm not doing it. But, I mean, if I had to, YouTube University is, you know what I'm saying, excellent. But, like, if we're down, you know what I'm saying, fixing something in the basement, we're fixing it. I'm not that person that's just going to sit there, babe, go fix this. Like, I want to know what you did. So when I can tell you how you were wrong.
Yeah.
And then we can fix it together. I'm more of a hands-on.
That connection.
Yes, and I want to learn. I want to, you know what I'm saying, be there with you to where, like, these are the things I want in my next first marriage. So where next first, I want to get married for the first time again.
She's a trip, y'all.
You got to be intentional with your words. Like, so I will say now dating, there are things to where talking like amongst my friends and family or whatever, I might say like, he spelled, you know what I'm saying, such and such wrong, or I didn't like the way he was chewing and I blocked him. And it's like, Camille, why would you do that? Why would I not? Why would I want to spend 5 years and then find out 5 years from now, like, I'm in a mental psych ward because I couldn't take it anymore and I snapped. Like, let's just end it now. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Interesting.
And it could be a good and bad thing, but again, I'm open to, you know, talking about it. I always tell you before I block you why I'm blocking you in a certain aspect. Like if we're dating or we're talking and we built that connection, I'm going to tell you when I'm going to stop talking to you. You had fair warning before I get to that point if I like you.
Question. So do you not think that you do annoying things that somebody
Most definitely.
Somebody else just might just ignore because they care about you that much? Like That might annoy me, but that's not a deal breaker to me.
And I'm talking about the deal breakers.
So somebody chewing a certain way is a complete deal breaker that you don't think you can.
You know, it's a
you
condition for that. Like, it's a word. I can't think of the word right now, but hearing people chew, like, it's a difference between the way somebody chews and if somebody just smacking and just being all like loud and obnoxious with it. I can't do
What's
it.
funny is I agree. I just wanted to say that.
But it's like things like that to where, I mean, that's something you can't get online.
That's-
But when you go out to eat and say this person, you know, they just all over digging in the, like,
Picking their
yeah,
teeth
like,
with a straw
I-
or.
certain
picking their teeth
mannerisms
with a
you
straw is
can't.
not a deal
can't
breaker
do
for
it.
me.
Oh gosh.
You gotta
Get
think
a
like,
toothpick.
I mean, but I've dealt with military people. They out in the field, real military people, not my ex, but not my ex-husband. Real military people that actually went to war to where they had to get it how they live. So if they had a piece of shrapnel and like had to get something out their teeth, he gonna do it. But he was very resourceful and he could fix any and everything. And we worked on his motorcycle together. We built guns together. He was a gun enthusiast, but it was fun. And plus, that's the one that was from Indy, so it was like getting to know his city. He came here, like he surprised me one day. Like I said, I wanted a funnel cake. He came here. He was like, put some gym shoes on. And we went to Kings Island, but it was like all because I wanted a funnel cake. I didn't even know he was coming to Cincinnati. But it's just those things like that can happen with people you meet online and people you meet in person. But with me and him, I would have never met him if I wasn't online.
Okay. So,
You guys want
David.
to ever get married again?
Yes, would you ever get married again? And then I guess I'll answer that question myself.
I want
It's twofold. Yes and no. It's more so if it's the right person in the circumstances of the right yes. And when I say that, it's because my mindset has changed as far as what marriage is supposed to be compared to how it was the first time. And
How so?
because to me, and we hear this conversation about 50-50, 100% as far as who's responsible. And to me, it's one of those things. I look at it like this: if my wife, my girlfriend is making a certain amount of money,
to.
Girlfriend.
Right, look.
or you say the
Your
woman, my
woman.
woman, per se, the woman is making a certain amount of money, and I look at it as I would have to make that and mine because I want to take the burden off her. I would like for us to still work, but I would like to be, as they say, the breadwinner in a sense of you would use the money to invest, but if something happens, I got this. And if I don't have it all to a point, at least 80-90% of it, I don't want to be in a marriage. Yeah, I really don't. And it's just because I think when you get involved with somebody, you're really supposed to help ease each other's things. And normally, what I found out in most relationships, unfortunately, is the woman normally has a little more financial issues. Say for instance, she has a child or something like that. There's still going to be a responsibility there. So if she's betting everything on me and something happens to her, I can't just be like, that's all on you. You got to figure it out. We're together now. So if I can't see myself saying if something happens and you've been taking care of this all supposed to be reasonable stuff, and I can't do it, then I don't feel like I'm doing my part. So for me, marriage would be, I would be able to help out in areas that she already had before. I'm not saying I have to take care of everything, but I would have to feel comfortable enough to know that financially wise, you don't have to worry about the mortgage. I want you to just, as they say, bask in your femininity type thing. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Well, you all want to know what I would say?
I do.
Okay.
I think it's a no.
Actually, I would get married again. I would
Deserve
get
it.
married again. It took a minute for me to say that because for a long time I was like, I ain't never doing that again, especially because it was so traumatic. But I think giving love a chance and the chance to be loved the way that I want to be loved is something that I would love to experience. And I'm open to that. And I have a lot of love to give. Camille knows me well. I'm a very nurturing person. So I love to spoil people. And so right now, I'm like, I gotta do this, so I have a boy, you all, so my son is like, Mom, I'll be glad when you get a boyfriend so we can stop
A
going to
man.
dinner.
A main.
Oh, I'll be glad when you get a man. I said, so do you think, which was interesting because I had never thought, I would always be the one like, I'm never gonna be treating my son like a date or,
Right.
you know, and when he said that, I was like, have I really? And then I had to really think about it, like, yeah, I've been kind of leaning on RJ a little bit, and I had to back up, like, wait a minute now, I don't want to treat my son like he's my significant other,
Right.
you know what I mean? And not in a distorted way, but, you know, just saying, you know, you want a time
He a
with somebody,
teenage boy. He don't
and I
wanna be
want to
hanging with
nurture real
you.
bad,
Yeah.
and you know, so, but anyway, I got off key. I would love to date again and get married again and all that. And I love that you said I deserve that.
You
Thank
definitely
you.
do. Yeah.
Thank you. So, I think we're gonna wrap this up. This was very interesting. Let me ask you this. If you are, let's do one-on-one, dating one-on-one, online dating one-on-one, because a lot of people are into that now. What is the process that you go to do that? And what do you, take us through a whole process that you would go through to be on a dating site?
Like building your profile.
Well, no, not necessarily that. Deciding, okay, I want to get online,
Okay.
sign up for a dating profile. This is the type of conversation you should have, and icebreakers in the beginning, that kind of a thing. And what not to do.
I will say it's changed from when I first got online to date. Before it was like, I think how David said it or whatever, like an ego thing. It was just, I was again going through my divorce allegedly and just getting back out there to see if, you know, I had it, or if, you know what I'm saying, people would still be even attracted to me. And I mean, I didn't look like this, but it was more so of just to see if, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily get the attention, but just to see if people still wanted to date me, because the things that I heard during my divorce, it kind of, you know, messed with my self-esteem. But I will say now, I'm very intentional about what my profile is, and it's like, right now I'm not on anything. I don't want to date right now. I'm not in the headspace to want to share. I'm in my Camille era. I just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it. And my favorite place is the corner of my couch with the remote. But I will say, when I get in a mode to where I want to date, I want to hold hands. I want to be admired. I want to be eventually loved again, and I'm open and ready to be loved. Is what I come to when I want to get back online and set up a profile. And my profile is not, when I do put a profile up, I get recent pictures.
Okay.
And I'll have pictures of me dressed up, because I mean, even though t-shirt and jeans is normally my thing.
How many pictures?
It depends on the site, but I normally have like maybe 4 or 5 pictures, and I always have a full body picture, you know, just to, like, because I'm not the skinniest anymore, and I don't want to even put that illusion out there. Again, I'm very honest. I'm just an honest person in general as well, but I'm very honest on who I am and what I'm looking for and what I don't want. And so, again, when it comes to the deal breakers, like I said, online dating, you can alleviate some of that, like, in the very beginning, to where you don't even have to have that further conversation of what are you looking for, because I don't care. If it's something on your profile that I don't like, or let's say you do jump in my DMs and it's like we're going back and forth when you bring up sexual stuff within the first 10 minutes or even the first day. Nope, not talking to you, because I don't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it's when I'm ready to share, is when I get back out there and like put my profiles out there, and it's like, okay, and just start putting those fillers. And I also start going out more too. So it's not just strictly online dating. When I'm ready to date again and ready to share myself or share my time, I'll put my online profile, and I'll also go out.
So take us through this. When you say you're in the space to date online again, because you were talking about, you're the guru at that, we're not. So what would be the take us through the process. I'm ready to make a profile online. I pick a site first. I'm ready to do a profile. You said about 3, 4, 5 pictures.
Right, yep.
Do you put information out there as far as being single,
Yes.
divorced?
Like, so, I mean, again, the last dating app I was on was BLK, Black, and Facebook dating, which I don't recommend. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't recommend it. I haven't had any luck on Facebook dating. But, so like with Black, I'll put, you know what I'm saying, like I said, recent pictures, at least 4 or 5, and it's like in different variations of what I'm wearing. Like, I'll have a hat picture. I'll have a picture where, you know, my hair, I normally keep it in braids or something like that, or I'll be dressed up, or jeans and a t-shirt. I'll put that I'm divorced. I'll put that I have children, my education. I don't necessarily put my job because of where I work, but I'll still put like the government. But and then I'll like it asks for like hobbies and stuff like that. I am a jokester, so I mean I feel like I'm funny. I've been told, so I do put some like sarcastic stuff on there. I am sarcastic. I cannot not be. So I'll put like some sarcastic little comments on there, or like little funny innuendos. But I mean, I feel like I represent myself to what I put on. I'm not gonna go in the full depth of everything, because what will we talk about?
Right. So what would you not put on there? Let's
I
give
definitely
our
don't
viewers
put,
some of that.
any details of where I live. Of course, it's Cincinnati, but I'm not telling you my
Well,
address.
now you know where she is.
Like, I'm not telling you like the neighborhood or anything like that. I'm not giving my high school. I don't give my kids names. I don't even put that I have, you know what I'm saying, how many kids or what they are as far as daughter or son. I don't put too much personal. I put my personality out there, but not personal details, because we still need to talk. And what if I don't want you to know that information?
Personality, but not personal.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. In your bio, you're putting things like, you know, I like to cook, I like to, that kind of stuff, or
I'm
no?
not gonna lie, I don't like to cook, but yes, stuff like that. Like, I like to go, like, listen to music, go to amusement parks.
Okay.
I'm putting my interest, and also putting out those fillers of a first date, or like what if we're interested in the same things.
Okay.
Because if you're just wanting to sit in the library all day, I don't want to do that. It might be a day where we do go sit at the library and read a good book, but I don't want that to be our relationship. I don't want to find somebody who is not at my level. I can be super quiet and recluse, but I like to go out and have fun. Let's go to the amusement park. Let's go on a little day trip to Chicago and get some pizza or something like that. Not as a first date, but
So then, what you're saying is, when you're looking at others' profiles, you want them to be similar, or
Yes.
something that you are interested in,
Yes.
and you would screen that out.
Yes.
So those are things that you would do as well, as far as screening other people's
yeah.
profiles.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the main things would be smoking. Like, I tried to date somebody that smoked just to, you know, relax my nose, and no, I don't want to smell like cigarette smoke every day, all day, and I just don't want to be around it like that. So again,
so you would
some
put
people
that
put
on
that in. Like, it has some things on there where, like, to where you can build what profiles you swipe through, so where smokers, but then you have some people that don't put it in their profile. But the people that do, no. I mean, I'll say send me some smokers that's cute, but nah, nope. So it's hard no's out there. The others are more so like at my age. People that don't have kids at like my age, like, it's kind of weird to me. But then that's a conversation piece of why. Because again, I mean, at 42, I date older, so in
Do you?
somebody, yes, not old, but like maybe 2, 3, 4 years. I have to keep realizing that I am 42. So when people like 50, like, try to talk to me, it's like, ugh, but it's 7 years per se, like 8, 7 years. So it's older, but then you can't look old. But don't be in your 50s and
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
what,
not required.
she
It's not a
does have a
requirement,
lot
that's a preference.
she has a list, a very extensive list. Well, listen, you all, thank you so much for tuning in to the Joi-Zulema show. This was, hopefully you found it informative. There were some great things that my guest did talk about as far as the dating scene. And you know what, if you have questions, feel free to drop that in the comment section, and you know, I will try to address those. And then also, if you could like the channel, if you want to see more, and subscribe, just so that you can get all of the information and notifications when we have a new show coming out. So like and subscribe. Okay, the Joi-Zulema show. Thank you. We out.